Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back for some more EVE Online, and you can see here that I have been exploring a little bit in the Ishtar around Dital, my regular round, and I must say it has been somewhat disappointing, unless we have a new signature here now. No, we do not. It is actually very busy at the moment with exploration, a lot of competition. In the course of 2 rounds I saw 2 Helas, a Jackdaw, a Vexor Navy issue, a Heron, and 2 other ships that were exploring, so it is crazy busy. There's like no anomalies left, wormholes and relic sites, that's really all that there is left. So for this video I actually want to show you guys what I do when I decide that my exploration time will not be that effective. I switch to something else to do. Now what I was doing before, because I really thought that was pretty neat, was running the emerging conduits in the rattlesnake. Just a couple of them, does not take that much time, and of course I have the option right here to move to the rattlesnake. But with the invasions coming into chapter 3, those are gone. For me, that's actually a pretty big loss, because it's something that I enjoyed, that was very rewarding, the DDLP. I still need to find out how I can get more of those, because I want to earn the skins that are available there. But if that's not an option for now, we still have this bad boy. And that's really something that I think you have to do in EVE Online. It is to give yourself different options to do other stuff than just a single profession. Although you can have a favorite, my favorite by far is exploration. I am very happy that I have these other options as well, like this one here. Now, before I go out and actually mine, I do always activate my resistance modules, but I take a look at the agency and I actually go to encounters and pirate strongholds. So you can see we've got one in Mendori, 5 jumps out, and in Raveros 5 jumps out as well. That is actually currently a -1 system for for the or Raravos, I should say, because the Triglavians, of course, have been doing their thing there. Very cool stuff. I'm actually staying out of that at the moment, but if a pirate stronghold is available in that system, and that could actually be very cool. Now we'll have potentially Triglavian forces, Edencom forces, and Blood Raiders duking it out in the same system. Anyways, if there's none here, that is fine. I'm free to go mine. But if there is one here, you have to be very careful, because those patrols can be very punishing. And something that I've done when I was actually moving into Dital is make 2 bookmarks in every belt in the system. I have one on basically what you could call the left side and the right side. That's always relative in space, of course, but I'm sure you understand what I mean with that. And this way I have very easy warp pins right in the belts, which is perfect for the Orca, of course, because we're mining with drones. And I can go to any belt of my choosing. I tend to start with the later belts here. Those tend to be a little bit less busy. As a result, I'm hoping that we find some stuff here. But we've got Luke Whiteclaw here in a Heron as well, and he's actually heading off to one of these gates. Yeah, Esesama, Chunka, Dira. Makes sense for someone that's exploring. It's just really busy. It's probably partly my own fault, because of course I enjoy exploration quite a bit and I show it a lot in videos, and well, I don't always show the bad stuff, the downtimes that you experience in exploration, and they are real. There are dry spells. It's not always that I find a 4 out of 10, run it and find 100 million in loot. It really doesn't happen on every single evening. Sometimes I spend my time and don't find anything, and then I try to look for these alternatives. One thing that Dital is not good for is missions. There are no very close good agents to provide you with missions to run, so that is one disadvantage of this location. But on the other hand, if you want to explore nullsec, if you want to explore lowsec, if you want to do trading, if you want to do mining, all of that is actually very close by and very accessible. And here we have someone else that's actually blue to me, that is also in the belt mining in an Orca. It is actually Louise Baltimore, and also using augmented drones. I'm going to join you. This is actually something that needs to be done in EVE Online as well. So what are we gonna do? I just have an Alt tab where I can select the 5 closest 5 closest asteroids. I drop my mining drones and I set one of my augmented mining drones to these as well. Lots of Veldspar, that is good because that's actually still worth a decent amount of ISK at the moment, although it is dropping a little bit. And then some Pyroxeres. We'll just clean all of this out as well. And then of course I go to my ore hold, which is holding some of the leftovers from the rest of my mining sessions. Now I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time here because this is what it is, right? You get into the belt, you allow your mining drones or your mining lasers to do the job for you, and then from time to time you just have to give them a new target. And sometimes you have to take care of rats as well, but as I've said, without a forward operating base in the system, it's just a regular belt rat, nothing to worry about. There is absolutely no danger of you losing your ship, I think, unless you're in the very smallest mining ship, to those rats. And then, you know, you're just absolutely fine to semi-AFK, never go full AFK in EVE Online, guys, but to basically watch a second screen, to maybe catch up on videos, some forum posts, Reddit, stuff like that is definitely doable right there. And then you can see the first cycle is ending. They have mined some stuff and we've got, you know, 300,000. Hello, Louise. Yep, this is what we're doing here, and this is actually, for now, really a worthwhile activity in EVE Online as well. Do not underestimate it. Resources have become a lot more scarce, especially in 0.0, and your time spent here is actually worth quite a little bit to the other players that don't want to spend that time mining for the resources. That's the beauty of the sandbox. In almost anything that you do, there is value if you learn to look for it. And on top of that, right now, the drums of war in 0.0 seem to be beating. If you look at what's been happening on the subreddits, there's some propaganda starting to show up. Apparently, there's like a non-aggression pact in nullsec between two of the large groups that is going to end in a couple of weeks, and this could be the prelude to a big war. And so everything that we're mining here now in resources could actually be rather valuable to all of those players as well. We could see an increase in value if we see a lot of destruction, and so having that stuff ready, I think, is also actually very valuable. And then just enjoy this for a moment. This is the scenery. We have 2 orcas mining in this belt peacefully. It's a relaxed way of enjoying the game, in my opinion. That's a big part of it for me as well. It's not as lucrative as exploration. It's probably not even as lucrative as missions, in my opinion. Potentially, definitely, I don't know. Those emerging conduits, I mean, at their high points they were kind of crazy, but at the later end they were definitely nerfed quite a bit. On the other hand, those DD loyalty points, those were pretty damn amazing, and definitely a potentially a very nice amount of income as well. And this is just this. I'm sitting here. I can maybe put myself in a slightly better position so that my drones have to do a little bit less travel time in order to get back. But yeah, this is my big mining ship, the Orca. I love it. Honestly, also a tremendous ship. When I first had it, really cool. It was not even a great mining ship, but it also has all of that other utility. It's got a ship maintenance base, so you can move ships in it. You can change fittings in it. That ship maintenance bay, fleet hangar. It's got the drones now, and so this is my solo mining ship. Even in Highsec, in EVE Online, it's just so cool, in my opinion, that you have this like big industrial carrier that has his 5 augmented drones that are doing all the work for you. They're just constantly going to bring all of those ores in your Orca, and then of course we compress it, And then we move it to Jita, stockpile it there at the moment, and hopefully we will see that conflict in 0-0, increasing the value of these resources, and that's when we're gonna sell, we're gonna make bank, and we'll have lots of resources ready to perhaps buy our Edencom ships, our Edencom skills, Vorton projector. I still need to train all of that as well. I in fact can't wait to give the Stormbringer a try in exploration as well. Although at the moment it is extremely busy. Perhaps I need to find maybe like a round that is not the classical one. Perhaps I even could put like a jump clone in a system somewhere else and try to do exploration there, get the right ships, perhaps even Caldari space. Never really done that. Different pirate faction as well, and a different experience, just because lately it has been extremely busy when it comes to the competition here in Dital, and it may not even be because I'm making all these videos and things like that. It may just be that, well, there is a lot of activity in EVE Online at the moment. We of course have the real life circumstances. If on top of that we get a big war and even more people come back, we get the new Edencom ships, that's bound to bring some hype to the game as well. Invasion Chapter 3, so it could just be a natural consequence of everything that's happening in real life, that it is a summer with a lot of activity and with a lot of competition for pretty much anything that you do. And that is why having these ships ready so that you have something else to do in EVE Online when you're really finding that you're being outcompeted by all of these other players is definitely worthwhile. This is why I have the Ishtar here, I have the Orca here, I have the Rattlesnake here, and then if I look at some of my personal assets and I for instance go to Yona, which is another one of our bases of operation, then we should see, let's see what we got here. Now I do have lots of extra stuff in here as well, but maybe I should just do a search on the ship types. So if I go for Ishtar for instance, we do search. I also have one actually, good God, I still have an Ishtar in there in Hiyashioda Corporation Mining Reserve. That's in Caldari space. I was actually planning to build up there as well. It hasn't really worked out, but I already have an exploration Ishtar there, so the first one. Then in Yona I have one, and in Nibale I have one as well, which is another base of operation. Oops, and one of these is done, so we're gonna put that drone on the next one. As you can see, in all of these base of operations and Nibale, Yona, we have jump clones there as well. I have that Ishtar ready. Then if I go for Orcas, let's take a look at that. Let's do a search for that. There we go again, Nibale, Orca, and in fact an Orca blueprint original. We get one in Yona. We've got some BPCs in, so I don't have one everywhere, but I have one in Solitude and I have one in Yona as well available. And then I'll go for the Rattlesnake. Let's see if I can look for that. I think it's only 2 of them. Oh, nope, there's a Rattlesnake. And then in Nibale there is another Rattlesnake as well. Yeah, I basically have one in and here in Dital, of course. So this is something that that I do have. It is not just useful for, of course, the war decks. If I get war decks, god damn it, now my drones are really mining all of these ores, and they're falling one by one. We're maybe gonna grab a couple more just to be sure that we have stuff to do. But I really do feel like this is important to keep in mind. This is EVE Online, this is a sandbox game, there's lots and lots of stuff to do, and being able and ready to switch from between things that you enjoy so that you don't burn out on a single thing or become too disappointed. If for instance you've been exploring for 2 days and you don't find any, for 2 hours and you don't find anything, you're gonna be pretty bummed out by that experience. Give yourself something else to do as well and have that ship ready. And as you can see here, my trinity for it tends to be the Ishtar for exploration, the Orca for mining, and then the Rattlesnake for missions. Rather see emerging conduits, but those are gone. But let's say PvE events as well, perhaps login events and things like that. I have everything ready. I also have some extra ships if I want to try something a bit more exotic. All of that is just fine, but have that ready so that you are able to switch between all of these different things that you can do in EVE Online, and you really avoid the burnout. Just make sure that you have fun doing what you are doing. And for me, honestly, I can sit here for a couple more hours, have maybe like a half filled or an almost filled cargo hold. It's gonna be quite a few millions. After we compress that, it's gonna be up in value substantially as well, and it's not gonna be that difficult to transport. Just my fast transportation, my Wraith 6000 cubic meters is gonna be absolutely fine for something that I mine on a single casual evening, and so I don't need to do anything too special as long as I compress the ores, which of course we can do in our own structures. I think all of that is really cool, and yeah, this is basically how I'm going to spend a little bit more of my evening. After that, it's going to be a little bit of Path of Exile for the League, but I thought I would share this with you guys as well, because quite often in my videos about exploration, I do show basically the action. I find a good signature, that's when I start recording, and you guys miss out on, luckily I think, you guys tend to miss out on all of the time that I spend trying to find those signatures. It is a decent amount, and I almost never show you guys the alternatives that I have as well, and that I play and enjoy quite often. And here is the most relaxed way for me to enjoy the EVE Online sandbox, mining in the Orca. Absolutely blissful for me personally. That's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.